Every knee shall bow at your feet and worship and declare that you alone are God. Oh, we worship. No other God, no other God but you. In heaven, on earth, and forever, you alone are God. Oh, we worship from our heart, Jesus. Oh, how we love you. Oh,
the Lord kept me and sustained me because He is the Lord our God. Our wonderful.
Come to worship you and praise your holy name. There is no one like you, Lord. You're deserving of all our praise. Here we've come to worship you and praise your holy name. There is no one like you, Lord. You're deserving Lord, to praise your holy name. There is no one like you, Lord. You're deserving of all. Ibuchi,
There must be strength in your bones. There must be strength in your hands. There must be strength all over your body for you to take yourself up. Listen, somebody with spinal cord problem can sleep, but he can't wake up. Even though he slept in pains, he can't. He said, I slept and I woke. For you to wake up, stand up from your bed, takes a lot of energy, takes a lot of things that go into it, and you need to thank God for that. I just want you to know that these two things are great miracles that God has been doing for you. And if you don't have any reason to tell God thank you this morning, I'm charging you to go out today with a bright smile on your face, that because you were able to sleep and you were able to wake up, then you have hope for tomorrow. Don't say you don't have hope again. Anyone that sleeps and can walk with his hand can definitely do something. You've seen so many people who don't even have hands or limbs and they are making it in life. See, I want to tell you this morning, God has done two great miracles for you just this morning. You slept and you awoke. And I need you to know that that is the goodness and the graciousness of the Lord. God won't. If God has done that for you, then it means that He can do much more. And that's what I want you to know this morning. Today, it shall be well with you. Even as you go out in everything you do, you will break forth from the left, from the right, in the mighty name of Jesus. Your blessings will come from the east, from the west, from the north, from the south. You are blessed today in the mighty name of Jesus. As you are listening to this broadcast, make sure that today you let God know, I have shared this miracle of sleeping and waking up, and it shall be well with you. I bring the word of the Lord to you today. Take that scripture, memorize it. It's the memory verse of today from Immaculate TV, Psalm chapter 3 verse 7. I slept and I awoke because the Lord sustained me. It takes sustenance to be able to sleep and wake up. So I've sustained you throughout all the evils of the night. It sustained you throughout when you woke up and when you were able to roll your body to stand up. God sustained you. And I just want you to know that that is a great miracle enough. And I want you from today, that miracle will continue in your life in the mighty name of Jesus. God bless you. It shall be well with you. Have a wonderful and gracious day in the name of Jesus. Hallelujah.
Immaculate, God's own TV.
All right, good morning, and you're welcome to newspapers headline segment on Early Rise this morning. I am Arao Yadidapo, and I'm with.
Good morning.
How was the night?
Very well.
You're looking really good, you know.
And I'm a fine girl.
Okay, maybe I'll check about that. All right, let's get straight to the business of today.
Okay.
I inherited ailing economy and insecurity, Buhari insists.
House of Reps, many motions, less action.
Many motions, less action. Well, people will always say, when they want to talk about our House of Rep, people, they are 360, they are just there, they are doing nothing and all that. But the truth is, the first thing they say is, which motion has he ever passed since he's been there? Has he ever done anything concerning healthcare? Has he ever done anything concerning this thing? But you said many motions. Now they are moving motions. You said
we're not seeing the effect of the motions they are moving. No action is backed up with the motions they are moving.
Where there are 360 people, what do you expect?
But at least with the motions they are moving are for some actions they want to take.
When you have 360 people, you have many people that are for, and you have many people that are against, and that brings a lot of problem in trying to come to an agreement or something. But we say to House of Reps, please give us action.
Yes,
take actions on everything that you do. Saraki says to Jega, name bribe takers. Name bribe takers.
We hope they do that. Federal government hands over erosion control project to communities in FCT. And
on health, on education, we have Senate probes OAU for sex for marks scandal. I think this has been a trend, a whole trend, but they are trying to put the spectrum on it right now. There was a scandal that came out of OAU of a student trying to saying that his lecturer wanted some something. Yes, let's just put it as something, something for marks. Yeah. You understand? So and it escalated, it got into the public news because anything gets into public news these days, and Senate has responded to it. So somebody was saying, we just said now that many motions, less action, but they are responding to things. I don't know if you're supposed to be happy about that. 1 out of a million. 1 out of a million. One action out of a million. But I think that will happen if people also speak out the more.
But really, if they would look into this issue of this OEU, what is happening, at least it will make her. It will improve education, and it will put sense into the minds of
what those again do you have for us there?
Yeah, it says court nullifies Rivers APC congresses. Court nullifies APC congresses, and still here on politics. It says takeaways from Southeast Summit on national question.
Failure to develop youths promotes insecurity. Jonathan.
Very true.
There's a lot of jibe going from new PDP, old PDP, APC.
What's this thing about new PDP? I just said about new PDP.
They are trying to give themselves a new approach. So they are telling you that they are new now. New every morning.
Old things have passed away.
Old things have passed away. They are born again now. They want to put things right now. And that's why they're telling us they are new. Anything that carries the tag of new as the crave of, I want to get it. You won't buy an old cloth if you see a new cloth. You always want to buy a new one. So they're trying to say this is the new PDP. The PDP you knew before has passed away. This is the new PDP. So Jonathan is saying the lack of improving youths, developing them. Jonathan could say this. Why? Because during his own time, he had a movement called You Win. Which a lot of youths were benefited from. So I think he's trying to use all these schemes against the present administration and saying, look, I improved the life of the youths. I helped them. I supported them to succeed in their career. And that is why I can say this. So he's trying to say, this government, you have not done anything for them. So why should you complain about insecurity? But still in time with Jonathan, there was insecurity. So what do you have to say about that?
Well, different strokes for different administration. Jonathan, former president, thinks he did this during his own time, and he thinks President Buhari is not doing such. So, and President Buhari, definitely if he comes out, will say I've done 1 or 2 things also. So I'll say different strokes.
What's the next name on the agenda then?
Okay, yes, there is federal government litigations frustrating our operations, and this is from Innoson, the vehicle manufacturing company.
On the health strike, we have no pay for health workers, insists FG. FG insists. no pay for health workers, and this is becoming a real mess. This is becoming a real mess. What's really happening?
I think currently they've embarked on an industrial strike.
Yes, yes.
And recently I heard through the health minister saying he's going to sack all the health workers if they don't resume work. But really, why would health officials go on strike?
Health officials will go on strike because health is administered, health is funded, and if the right funding is not being put to health, it amounts to as if health is not being administered. So you can't blame them. They are not doing it because they don't have a value for lives. They are doing it because the federal government must be responsible for what they have created. Health is a major sector in the economy, and they must be responsible for it. You can't shy away from it.
Yeah,
You can't shy away from it.
True. But really, government needs to pay attention to health.
They will.
in Nigeria.
Senate screens Buhari's CBN board nominees.
Okay, here says Bayelsa Rivers communities accuse the Joint Task Force of illegal bunkering.
Yes.
Why would they accuse the Joint Task Force of illegal bunkering?
What they are trying to say is that you know these people. They are accusing them that you know these people are doing these things. Why are you not bringing them to book? It's a direct allegation.
Why do you think they're not bringing them to book? Why are they accusing?
When was the last time you heard someone being arraigned for bunkering?
Maybe because bunkering has been reduced.
When was the last time you heard that bunkering is going on? Maybe from those questions you can be able to draw your inferences and put them right. Buhari has ordered me to redouble strategies to curb killings. IGP declares.
Killings of where? Which of the killings?
We don't know.
We have so many killings going on right now.
There's Edmund killings, there's this killings, there's that killings. But it's trying to say, people are thinking that there's a kind of agreement between the president and the Inspector General of Police. And he's trying to say, look, the president has given me an order, and he has told me that make sure that you double your efforts in the apprehension of those that are killing
Putting
people.
an end to this. Okay, it says Benue Assembly passes same-sex prohibition law. I thought we were done with this in Nigeria.
They were done with it, but you also know that we run our government like the style of the Americas. And apart from the national law, states also still have the autonomy to say this is what happens in the state. It depends on the legislature and all those kind of things and the court that works in the states. So there are some states that will still want to say, okay, we want to do this, and they will have to, so that maybe that's exactly what is happening.
Exactly.
But on business, quickly, we have multi-choice to boost creative industry with new talent academy.
Okay, yes, on business here too, says Enugu-based varsity to begin clean coal research.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
We need manufacturing, we need industry.
Yeah.
We need industry.
Yes, we need to start focusing, paying attention to.
And talking about that, let's come down to state government. Or your state, Makinde challenges Ajimobi to name just a few of the industries he has put to place in Oyo State.
Why would you do that?
Well, he's an aspiring candidate for the governor's office, so he's trying to boost his chances, he's trying to boost his mandate, he's trying to boost his ability. You understand? So when you're going up against someone, the first thing you do is to try and let people see that the person is not as competent as you are.
Exactly.
You understand? So he's saying it to him, okay, you want us to talk about developmental strides, show me the industries that you've
What
put down.
extent of development have you been able to achieve?
Industrially. Because when you ask governors now, we talked about this 2 days ago during the politics.
Yeah.
When you ask governors now, they say, I did this road, I did that road. The only thing we have is road infrastructure. And at the end of the day, after 6 months, those road infrastructure are not even infrastructures. So even if the road you are mentioning, so that's why industries are more important.
Really?
Are important. Roads are also important because they are the pathway. You understand? So that's what he's trying to say. Let us know the industries, and those are the things that are going to help the youth to get into employment and all those things. Yes.
Okay.
We are ready to rule, the youths tell the presidency.
Over time, youth have been crying out.
Are you ready to rule?
I'm ready to rule.
Okay. I'm ready to
Are
rule.
you ready to rule?
I'm ready to reign. Not just rule. Reign in this country. Are you with me? Are you sure? You're with me?
I'm with you.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, I think I'm going into sports now.
Okay, on sports.
Yeah.
What do we have there?
Lagos partners Balmoral Group to build World Cup village.
Lagos partners Bangladesh go to be World Cup village. You know, Lagos is smart with investments. They are trying to make sure they engage as many youths as possible. World Cup is something that everybody watches. Every home is at a standstill when it's time for World Cup. You understand? And they are just trying to bring in some kind of initiatives. Look, kudos to Lagos government. And on sports also here, a big news for the nation of Egypt. Salah gives Egypt World Cup hope with news over injury. You know, the Champions League final was played at the weekend, over the weekend in Kiev, and Egypt's best player, Mohamed Salah, after 26 minutes went down injured.
Wow.
And there has been serious doubts on if he will be fit enough for the World Cup. And now the trainer, the physios of Liverpool just came out his club side and said he will be fit. He may be fit in time because he will just be injured for 3 to 4 weeks. And the World Cup is about 3 weeks away. That's
that's good news for Egypt.
It's a big news for them because that is by far their best player.
Like that save you. Okay. Dalung says Eagles will exceed previous records rather.
Okay, our previous record is second round. We've not made it to the quarterfinals. So let's hope that that's a good prophecy for the Super Eagles. Let's also hope that that's a good record for Sky Good. Because honestly, we need to do better.
Yeah,
we call ourselves the Giants of Africa. So in everything, we must be the Giants. We must be the Giants.
Yeah.
We must be the Giants.
Okay. Yeah, on Russia 2018.
Yes.
Buhari charges Eagles to play clean fair. Is our president trying to pay attention to sports now?
Yes, he's paying attention to sports because everything in the nation has to do with the president. Are you getting what I'm saying?
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, when they come back and they say they want to have a presidential briefing, a presidential visit, and all those kind of things, so you should have interest in it. All right, I think we're done with this morning's headlines.
Okay.
This has been the newspaper headlines from our studios. Thank you for joining us. Join us on the next segment where we'll be having the guest. Thank you. Welcome back. You're still on Early Rise this morning, and this is our guest segment. With me this morning is Mr. Ezekiah Akinride. Mr. Ezekiah Akinride is a political analyst, is a leader par excellence, and if you like, you can call him a comrade. He's been into this movement for a long time. This morning, you're joining us. We're going to be talking about journey of democracy so far. Mr. Ezekiah Akinride, welcome this morning, sir.
Thank you. Good morning.
We are so glad to have you in our studios.
It's my pleasure.
We've been trying to get you for some time, but you're here this morning. Let's get to the business of the day. The journey of democracy so far. What can you tell us about it?
Okay, well, I would prefer to say it has been a roller coaster. Now, just as you would have with a political experience, it has had its own ups and downs, right? But maybe I would say on a whole, we've made some measure of progress, not as expected, all right? And if I would really tie it down to one thing, I would say the only progress I believe we have made so far is that we have been able to stave off military incursion, okay? That on the benefits of democracy, which you would have really expected, I'm not sure we have delivered so much. So the journey so far, not excellent, but not really bad. Maybe I'll just say about 10%.
About 10%.
Yes.
10% is a truly ridiculous mark to
That's
give.
that's like F15.
It's higher than F9.
Yeah.
Okay, that takes me to the next question. I want to know, are we better off or we are worse off under democracy?
Under democracy, we are better off. I would say we are better off because there is a major benefit we have today. You can come on set to criticize the government. You can ask me questions, you can prod me.
That's true.
To get to the point where I criticize the government. But in the days of the military junta, you would be careful because you would be worried if you would not be arrested the moment you left the studios. Because if you criticized the government too much for their comfort, you ensure that right at the reception, some guys with jackboots, green khaki, and horrible looking barrels would be waiting for you, or they would even burst into the studios and get you and your guest off the set. So I'd really say, as far as freedom of information is better, and which is a major functionality of free people, we have it in democracy. It offers us that. We may not have light, we may not have water, we may not have the basic social amenities that you think democracy should guarantee you, right? But then, freedom of information cannot be traded off for anything.
Apart from freedom of speech, information, expression, what else has democracy been able to deliver to us in Nigeria?
Okay, let's say in a way, we also have the opportunity of choosing our own leaders, but we don't choose.
Okay.
We have the opportunity of choosing our own leaders, but we don't choose. And why do I say we don't choose? There are two angles to that.
Okay.
We have a cabal that presumably owns Nigeria and decides who governs and who does not govern. I have spoken with a few politicians in the past, friends who are politicians, who would tell me that, forget it, the results of this coming election have been written long ago. They've been written long ago. I was listening to a program some months back where an elder was saying that prior to the 2007 elections, I think, a friend shared details of how the elections would run with him. And that was how the results came out.
That's
And the presenter was asking him, the anchor of the program was asking him why he didn't escalate to the police. And he said, to whom do I escalate? Do you report a thief to a thief, or you report a murderer to his agent? It was the police that was also used to rig the elections. So you would only put your life at risk because you had access to what they would term classified information. So in that way, we have an opportunity to elect our leaders, but we do not elect because some people decide ultimately. The other side to it is we have an opportunity to elect our leaders under democracy, but we do not elect because we are not interested in enduring the pain that will culminate in that process. That will culminate in that conclusion. So I was discussing with someone last week, and I said, do you have your PVC? And what she told me was, you expect me to go and spend hours on end at INEC office to obtain my PVC. I don't have that time. And you have people who have PVC who will not go out to vote. So, democracy allows us to choose. But in actual fact, we're not choosing.
Okay, in actual fact, we are not choosing. So, but quickly, I want to hit something. The military regime, as against, what we have as the Agbada regime. But when you look at both, let's come to mainstream or new school democracy. We have ex-military men like Olusegun Obasanjo ruling the country, and we also have right now President Muhammadu Buhari. And if you look at the other two presidents within that time, Umaru Musa Yar'Adua and Goodluck Jonathan, you find out that Goodluck Jonathan and Umaru Musa Yar'Adua does not have a pedigree of military. Meanwhile, General Olusegun Obasanjo and PMB, they have the history. But if you ask average Nigerians, the governments that were better, I'm very sure many people, after consultations, will mention the Jonathan regime and the Umaru Musa Yar'Adua regime. So, as it been a problem that we allowed, ex-military men to be custodians of the democracy that we're practicing today.
Fela Anikulapo Kuti of blessed memory, God bless his soul, sang a song. He said, the same old politician we rule Nigeria before, the same old politician we serve Nigeria before, all of them, they there now, you not finish. Now, the truth is this. What we have in Nigeria is a horrible, vicious cycle. We are recycling the same set of people under different guises. Obasanjo, a retired military president, or maybe head of state. Goodluck Jonathan was not installed. Yar'Adua was installed by the same ex-generals cabal.
Exactly.
When he died, it was the same guys who had positioned Goodluck Jonathan to be his vice. Jonathan came up. When Jonathan was going to be pulled down, Jonathan fell out with the ex-generals cabal. Fell out with Obasanjo. Fell out with Babangida.
Yes, that's
fell out with T.Y. Danjuma. And the rest of them. Absalami Abubakar. These were the same guys who brought Buhari, a retired despot, to come in. Some of us made the mistake of also supporting Buhari.
Based on integrity.
Because with the benefit of hindsight, it was a mistake.
Yes, that's true.
Now, he is there. All right? And the same cabal of ex-generals has fallen out with Buhari again. That's why you see T.Y. Danjuma is angry, Obasanjo is angry, what's his name? Babangida is angry. Absalami Abubakar is the man is a snake. You cannot say this is where he stands. But of course, his sympathies will be with the other ex-generals who are his bosses. Now, there is a mistake, and it's a fundamental one. We keep recycling the same people. They have no new ideas. But like I said in my opening statement, these are guys who presumably have a control over Nigeria. Presumably, they own Nigeria. And they are less than 1%. Maybe even less than 0.01%.
That's true.
But they are so powerful. They are in control of the political structures. They are in control of the economic structures. They are in control of the social system. Because even youths are working for them now because these are the guys who have the quick cash. So, I believe that until we get to that point where we overhaul how our leaders emerge. Look among those who are state governors. Nyako is a retired uniform person. Oyelola, retired uniform person. You have a lot of them in the north. You have some of them in the east.
That's true.
Okay, so, and those who are not retired military personnel are the same old politicians who either covertly or overtly participated in the blind and conscienceless looting of Nigeria in the past years. So, the same Nani, yes, whether you prefer to call it Aja or you call it locally, it is still Aja.
All right. Your analysis has exposed something to us now. It's been able to take us through the years, and
help us to understand that even when the generals are not there, they are the one who put somebody.
Their stooges are there.
So do we truly have a democracy?
Okay, I would say on paper, yes.
On paper.
By definition, no. It is not. Because, look, there are a lot of flaws in the system. The way we run them, we pretend, we hypocritically claim that our democracy is mirrored after the American system. It is an absolute lie. It's not true. Where you have all powers vested in the federal government. Recently, this PMB-led government approached the Senate and was trying to sponsor a bill that would help them to take charge of the waterway. There was division in the Senate. The guys from wanted it to sail through. The guys in the are blessed. So where you have, if you look at it, the exclusive list, you have almost 60 items or there also. On the concurrent list that the states can control, you have less than 15. And you say that's a democracy supposed to bring governance closer to the people. You have a system where local governments are not autonomous. Only recently they said they passed the bill for autonomy and all of that. But you still have, see,
we are going to important areas now. We are going to important areas now. You mentioned the American scene, and that was where we exported our style of democracy from. I'll keep that till later. But I want to go to something very quickly now. You talked about the factions that played in the Senate when the bill came in. Some people that are loyalists to the
North.
To the North. I will not say the federal government, the North, who wanted it to happen, and some people who are also from the South. The amalgamation itself, was it supposed to happen?
It was not supposed to happen.
Okay, take us
Yorubas will say, you see, you want to build a house, you're supposed to use cement, gravel, water to mix. You mix those stuff and then build. But instead of that, you decide to use spittle. It can't stand the test of time. A very light breeze is going to bring it down. Now, that's why I never call Nigeria a nation. A nation is a people of same language, same culture, and same worldview. We don't belong in the same place. The British guys, Lord Lugard, whom I personally believe, I don't know if it's ideal for TV, I personally believe that God is going to judge him. For selfish reasons, brought the North, the Northern and the Southern protectorates that had no similar identity together. The language different, the religion different, the political systems different. So you had guys who were practicing a republican system in the East, and you had guys in the in the South, and in the Southwest that were practicing a monarchical system where all powers resided in the king.
Yes, that's true.
With a system in the North that was totally alien from these guys coming together, and there was no basis, so it was just by colonial fiat that we are in charge of you guys, and we can bring force to amalgamate you, bring you together. You must marry by force. It's just like your parents deciding that you must marry a woman, whether you like her or not, whether she looks good or not,
and disaster,
whatever she's. So today, what we see is worse than a marriage of convenience. The partners in the marriage are tired of one another. Amalgamation was an error, which actually, if I'm going to borrow from the spiritual balance, amalgamation was a process that terminated the independent destinies of true protectorates.
Thank you very much, sir. We are still discussing the journey of democracy, and we'll be back very soon. Stay with us.
Immaculate.
All right, welcome back. You are still on Early Rise, and this is the guest segment. We've been with Mr. Ezekiel Akinrede, political analyst, and we've been talking about the journey of democracy in Nigeria. Very quickly, sir, you opened a can of worms while we were talking, and that is bringing us to more interesting discourse. I want to ask you, what is your take on restructuring?
Nigeria needs to be rediscussed. It needs to be renegotiated.
Redefined.
I mean,
renegotiated.
You just have to see. It is like you have issues. Okay, let me give you an example. I'm a pastor, and there was a time a couple had issues. My wife and I had been trying to settle those issues, intervene, until one day I got tired. And I said, all right, you, husband, tell me, how did you meet this woman? Where did you find her from? What is the story of your relationship? You, woman, how did you come together? And they started telling me. When they told me where they started from, I was able to diagnose where the issue could have come from. And the next question I asked them was, do you still love this woman? Do you still love this man? Those questions were vital in helping us salvage the marriage. All right. Now, for Nigeria, what you see is, even when matters of policy are being discussed, we are divided along protectorial lines. The North preserves whatever pays it. The South wants to defend what it has. What I see is very simple. Personally, I have never been afraid of being accused of controversy. But I speak as my conscience dictates to me. The North wants to have more of what it doesn't have from the South at the center. While the South believes the North is shortchanging it, because the North is not as naturally blessed as the South. Yeah, Nigeria is a tale of pains. A very horrible tragicomedy. I'm bringing this in so that you see. How do you tell me? Nigeria is the only country where you tell me that population is higher towards the desert than it is towards the rainforest. How? So in the South, they tell us that in the South, population of people living in the south of Nigeria is lesser than the North. That's why they tell you that Kano has the highest population in Nigeria.
For 44 local governments.
I mean, and it's laughable. Because those guys keep moving. Somebody will tell you, they give birth to a lot of children. And I say, that is a cheap lie. The Southerners also give birth to children. But it is against logic. It questions logic that people want to live in the hot climate. Look all over the world. The Arab nations. What is the total population of the Arab nations? Now, these are some of the things I tell you that. Now, look, the system has been rigged from the beginning to ensure that the marriage doesn't survive, so that the European and American overlords can continue to exercise control over the destiny of the nation. Now we need to sit down. My issue with those who cry for restructuring is hypocrisy.
That is the restructuring they are talking about is not the real restructuring we should.
Number one, it is not the real restructuring. Number two, those who are mouthing restructuring, a lot of them are mouthing restructuring for selfish gains. When they were in power, when Goodluck Jonathan was there, and they said, okay, let us have a sovereign national conference. He first of all said, no, you can't call it a sovereign national conference. Call it a national conference. People came together. They handpicked people. I remember that my own mentor, Dr. Tunde Bakari, was one of those people there. Jonathan later sent a letter to them that the unity of Nigeria is not up for discussion. Do not discuss whether we stay together or we break up into sovereign states. And you know why he did that? 2015 was in his eyes. It was in focus for him. And the northern oligarchs who were deceiving him insisted he must take that discussion off the table if he wanted their backing. But when they would play the usual northern card on him, they swept the rug off his feet at the dying minute.
And look for their own candidate.
Now we must return to the table and we must say, am I satisfied with the terms of this marriage? Do I still want to stay? That is why I will never blame IPOB. I will never blame IPOB. IPOB is demanding for what is right. However, the battle is not on the street. The battle is intellectual.
It's intellectual. Thank you very much. The battle is intellectual. I want to talk about political instability now, as it is. What we know about political instability, was more of a threat during the times of the military, when something can happen the next morning and there's a coup and it's overthrown and all that. Yeah. At least we know in democracy, when someone is elected into power, you use 4 years, but that was not to play in the military. Somebody can be the president today, tomorrow morning he has been usurped. But even now that democracy is supposed to produce a political instability, we don't really have that political instability. So what is happening?
We can't have political stability with the way we are. We have crooks. Okay. And people who are only fit for the jail rooms. Controlling the political system.
I think you should tell that to a judge beside you.
No, that is the absolute truth.
Okay.
Because, you see, I said Nigeria is a tragicomedy. Because those who are supposed to be locked in the jail are those out there free, while those who ought to be free are locked in there.
Powerful.
Bob Marley said something. Was it Bob Marley or Lucky Dube? How long shall we kill our prophets? You see, with the present party system, multi-party system, there can be no stability. Saraki, Kawu Baraje, Dino Melai, all the guys who formed the crux of the new PDP, that dissolved into the present APC, are discontented. They are disgruntled. The Tinubu faction is reputed to be angry. In the present APC, I'm giving you some analysis as far as I can help myself. The present APC is badly fragmented. The Tinubu bloc is said to be angry. The only bloc that appears to be happy and in control is the CPC bloc.
Yes, that's true.
Now go to PDP. There are fragments. The governors lead a faction. Wike is the superboy of that side. Wike and Fayoshe.
Yeah, that's true.
You have another that wants an intra-party revolution. You have another part. Because if not, recently, Prince Adeye, the former spokesperson of the PDP, 2 or 3 days ago, they camped to APC. So where we have people, the point I want to make is this: where you have politicians with no ideology, parties with zero ideology, what unites them is dipping their hands into the bucket of national soup and eating as much as they can. That's the only thing that unites them. Ideology, nothing. Identity, nothing. Brand, nothing. Belief, nothing. Social revolution, nothing.
Political ideology.
You can't have political stability because you cannot predict. An average politician doesn't spend 3 years in a party except he holds a political office. Go check them. Before Ajimobi in Oyo State became governor, check all the parties he teamed up with. Buhari was largely faithful to CPC. But when he saw that CPC would not give him what he needed, he joined with the APC. Major happens in politics. But check the life of an average politician. When he contests on the platform of this party today and he doesn't win, tomorrow he's looking for another party that is going to give him the opportunity.
Let's run quickly down to Southwest now. Let's look at democracy in the Southwest. Let's come back home. This is Oyo State. This is where we stay. This is what we see every day. What have you been able to see playing from Oyo State politics for about several years now? What can you say about Oyo State politics? Has democracy delivered anything to us here? And what's the way forward?
Oyo State is another sad story. Actually, I was discussing with some friends some weeks back and I said, maybe we should go to God in prayers and ask if Oyo State committed any particular offense, so that we have been plagued with funny leaders over the years. And for me, in Oyo State, democracy has delivered next to nothing. With all of the potentials that the state has, what we have had are empty rhetorics. Maybe it would have been better. In 1999, between 1999 and 2003, we had something that was similar to progressive politics. But the higher-handedness of the then governor, late Lam Addition, in dealing with workers, and then the ill-advised what do I call it now? The ill-advised collaboration with Obasanjo's PDP-led government in 2003, which made the AD not to field a presidential candidate. In return for getting Obasanjo's support for all the AD governors in the West to return elected, put paid to that progressive politics, which I believe should have given us a semblance of what democracy can deliver. Then we came to Ladoja in 2003, who came in with all zeal and zest to perform. But it was also supplanted by the greed, and uncurbed selfishness.
I have to interrupt you there because I'm coming to some. When we talk about greed in politics, we have seen it in full dimension in Oyo State. You just talked about one now. And another place I'm going to is you have, even after that period of the Ladoja is deputy or subbed in because of the greed. I'm coming there. That's number one case of greed. Another case of greed is Ladoja trying to come into power again despite his age and his, he knows he has fallen out with the people. You have Akala again was trying to come back in these last elections, and you have Senator, the present governor, still wants to go for senatorial seat even after this one. How much can this greed get really when it comes to Oyo State politics?
It can't get too much in Oyo State, in Nigeria generally.
Because they are used to the greed.
Even in Nigeria generally, it's like a curse. Ladoja was booted out because Adedibu, his political godfather, was angry with the connivance of the then President Olusegun Obasanjo. Because Ladoja was sympathetic towards the political cause of Abubakar Atiku, who was at loggerheads with his boss, Obasanjo, at the time. Then we had the years of Holocaust. I call it the years of political Holocaust. So pretended by Alawakala. Ooh, that one is another thing. When he left, so what's it called? Ladoja was reinstated by the courts, came in, all of them contested again. Ajimobi came in, and Ajimobi, after all the sweet talk and everything, has under-delivered. Now he wants to go to the Senate. And I recall that this same governor, I think 2 years ago or last year, was addressing a gathering of Muslims, where he said he wanted nothing after being governor. At the moment his term expired, he would not be interested in anything political. You see, the truth is, except the average Nigerian decides to take his destiny in his future, the political class seeks class perpetuation. And they are bringing their children into the system. That is why you and I are serving them. If we are not careful, our children will serve their children. So all this prayer about Oniseru Egbere, you don't say Oniseru Egbere in the house. You get your PVC and you go get these bloody thieves out of the place. Or else they groom their children to come in and take over. Tinubu's in-laws are all over the place occupying political offices. Ekiti and the rest of them. During the time of Fayemi, his in-law was there. Okay, so this is what you see. They are scattering their seeds all over the place.
They still remain.
But you and I are here speaking grammar.
We'll change that to the previous.
We are speaking grammar.
We'll change that
because
to the previous.
grammar does not rescue generations. Yeah, generations are rescued on the street.
On the street. All right, we have just about 2 minutes to go. I want you to, because this on our show here, we always try to profile solutions, let people know that things are possible.
Yeah.
So I want you to profile few solutions to the democracy of Nigeria from now going forward.
Number one, everybody must get their PVC.
Okay.
Number two, you must be willing to vote for whom you believe in. Let me tell you, if I vote a tyrant who pretends to be a saint, I would not have voted. Because when we vote based on what we see. So I campaigned for Buhari in 2015.
Well, I did too.
If the same scenario repeats itself, I will still campaign for Buhari. Because I would prefer a leprous Buhari over a vegetable Jonathan. That is me. But I satisfied my conscience. When I vote for you, I now leave you to do what you're expected to do. So get your PVC, number one. Number two, you must vote with knowledge. Don't vote based on sentiments. Don't vote based on who gave you. I tell people, when they bring money to buy your votes, collect their money. It is part of your money now. Collect it, spend it. When you get there to thumb print what your conscience says you should thumb print. Number three, everybody should get out there and participate. You see, the church especially, the reason Nigeria is this way is because the church has also failed Nigeria. We stay and prepare homilies and long sermons, we speak grammar, wear sharp suits. We don't want people to go into politics. Politics is a bad game. Politics is a dirty game. Why can't you be the detergent that goes there to wash it clean? Everybody should belong to a political party. Get involved so that when they are having their clandestine meetings, where they take those demon influenced decisions, you can stand against them and say, no, this until we get to do those things, we will keep Nigeria in the hands of charlatans, vagabonds, and urchins.
When we talk about inclusion in politics, as we close, women, youth, what can you say about it?
Women, youth, being included in politics, nobody has excluded them. They are the ones who excluded themselves. That's why I laugh when I see women come out and say, oh, percentage this, percentage that, percentage this, female inclusion, blah, blah, blah. I said, they are joking. You know why? The population figures say women are more than men. So if we decide to get, you take a sample from this place. How many men do you have? How many women do you have? You are likely to have them match you, or maybe slightly lower. No. So when they belong to the same place, when decisions are to be taken, and they say, okay, let's vote, and the women decide that all of us are voting for a woman, there will be a deadlock. Men will vote for men, women will vote for men. At the end of the table, you have to come. At the end of the day, you have to come to the round table to decide. Okay, now that we have a deadlock, men will shift ground, women will shift ground. That is how to get them included. But you see, where we play, women want to sit back. They want to get it on the platter of good. It's not going to happen. Number two is that women, sorry to say now, I'm sure feminists will come for my throat, but the truth is, women also are swayed by money. Who are those who collect money most when elections are coming? Diboko Sebe, Diboko Guru, Diboko Barracks. I'm not going now. Women. Until they decide that we can't be bought with money. And for youths, nobody excludes youth.
My organizers are really telling me something, and we have to close now. But before we go,
right,
what is the quality of the leaders that we have? And what kind of quality are we supposed to be looking for in the next elections?
We have the worst crop. The truth is, the best are governed by the worst in Nigeria.
The best.
The best are governed by the worst. The quality we should look for, there is a standard that is obtainable. Right? Now, and I believe the quality we should look for is those who will occupy political positions must be people who, in their personal endeavors, have excelled. Not people. What we do most times is we choose money bags. We choose money. So you don't want to know. Maybe it's a fraudster. That is why somebody like Buruji Kasham is in the Senate. I'm ashamed that I'm here with all of my education and exposure. Buruji Kashamu. Oh, no. We are governed by the words.
Must be somebody that has excelled himself
in his personal endeavor. He may not have the money, but let's know that he has a track record. What has he done personally?
And that we can be sure of his integrity.
That is
Thank you so very much. We've profiled solutions today. Get your PVC, make sure you vote, and also make sure that you get people involved.
And register in political parties. Go and register. You register.
Also register in political parties. I'm being challenged now. I will also register, and I challenge you to go and register. This has been the guest segment this morning on Early Rise Immaculate TV. We have been with Mr. Ezekiah Akinride, and it's been a fantastic time. Thank you so much for joining us. Join us next time again on Early Rise, the guest segment. Thank you so much, sir, for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Hello everyone, my name is Folorun Olumide Thomas, aka Hofat, your #1 sax messiah. Keep watching Immaculate TV, and you can follow them on Instagram, you can subscribe on YouTube, like them on Facebook at Immaculate TV.
Hello, my name is Ayodele Adebayo. Keep watching Immaculate TV, God's own TV. Hello, my name is Ayodele.
My name is Shion Awodele. I want to appreciate every one of you that are watching this loving station, Immaculate Television. Keep watching news, programs that is educative, entertaining. Indeed, we are here to give you something you want. Just believe in your dream, and Christ in you is hope of glory. My name is Shion.
I'm Tayo Aluko, aka Stefano Lutz. I love Immaculate TV. I love God's TV. I love Immaculate. Cheers, guys. Love you. I'm Tayo Aluko, aka Stefano Lutz. I'm a lover of Immaculate TV. I love God's TV. I love Immaculate. Cheers, guys.